2 nights ago, Donald Trump and I had our first debate. And I believe we owe it to the voters to have another debate. Because this election and what is at stake could not be more important. On Tuesday night, I talked about issues that I know matter to families across America, like bringing down the cost of living, investing in America's small businesses, protecting reproductive freedom, and keeping our nation safe and secure. But that's not what we heard from Donald Trump. Instead, it was the same old show. That same tired playbook that we've heard for years, with no plans for how he would address the needs of the American people, because you know it's all about him, it's not about you. Well, folks, I said it then, I say it now. It's time to turn the page. Turn that page. Turn that page.
That was Vice President Kamala Harris in Charlotte, North Carolina. It wrapped up about 30 minutes ago, saying this, quote, "We owe it to the voters to have another debate." We should share with you that while she was saying that in North Carolina, Donald Trump took to Truth Social to say, no, not again. He does not intend to debate her again. And this is just in. The Harris-Walz campaign raised $47 million in the 24 hours following the debate. Joining us to talk about it all, senior advisor and spokesperson for the Harris-Walz campaign, Ian Sams is here. So the New York Times has that reporting under this story, quote, $47 million flowed into Harris' campaign in the 24 hours after the debate. It may be obvious, but there is something, if you believe in the old sort of laws of politics, which I don't know that they apply to anything anymore, but Trump should want another chance. It's clear that he was so outmatched that he said, you know, uncle, no, thank you. What do you make? Is there any way to try to keep this on the table as another opportunity for her to simply reach that size audience again?
Well, thanks for having me. And I think that the word that we're getting out of the Trump campaign over the last 24 hours has been kind of all over the place. Jason Miller yesterday saying that they would do one. President Trump today saying that there will not be one. So who knows where they're going to go? I think the vice president has said very clearly that the American people deserve a second chance to hear from them. You know, you mentioned the large grassroots enthusiasm we got in the 24 hours after that debate, raising $47 million. But it's from 600,000 individual people in 24 hours. I think it speaks to the energy and enthusiasm that exists out there in the country for the vice president right now. And it's so important that we have that because Trump and Trump's campaign and the Trump MAGA world are billionaire super PAC funded. They've got a lot of resources at their disposal to come at the vice president over the next 50 days with attacks and smears. And we have to have the resources to fight back and harness this energy and enthusiasm that we're seeing from the debate and even before in order to get her message out and talk more about these issues that really matter to people like you just played in that clip.
In the couple polls that have been out since the debate show really good movement for you. But I wonder with the campaigns, where's your head on polls? Do you wish they all had you tied? Are you heartened to see the movement? I mean, how do you guys internally deal with polls, and what do you want people to take from them?
We see this as a margin of error race, a 50-50 race. We're a divided country right now. President Trump obviously has a lot of support among Republicans and enthusiastic support in the MAGA base. But, you know, the vice president is working really hard to change that dynamic. You talked a little bit earlier about the broad coalition that she's building, hundreds of Bush, Romney, McCain alumni who are coming out as Republicans, courageous Republicans who are putting country over party to back her in this race. Alberto Gonzales, the former attorney general for President Bush, who I know you worked for as well, out this morning saying Donald Trump represents a real threat to the rule of law in this country, and Vice President Harris has spent her career defending it. I mean, there's momentum building right now for a broad coalition of people who are ready to turn the page on Trump and chart a new way forward with the vice president. I think polls will go up and down, but at the end of the day, it's a 50-50 race. That's why it's so important that Democrats who are enthusiastic about the debate on Tuesday night understand that we have a lot of hard work to do. We need people to sign up to volunteer. We need people to go to KamalaHarris.com and chip in a few more bucks if they can so that we can fight back against that MAGA smear machine. And so that's what we'll be doing in the coming days, even as polls may fluctuate up and down.
What are the best and most tangible things you hope that the Taylor Swift endorsement and message brings to the campaign?
Well, it's interesting. We talk about, former Republican luminaries, including a former Republican vice president, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney. The coalition spans from them all the way to Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift represents something really meaningful for so many people across this country, especially, frankly, women who really identify with her. And we are so proud to have her support. The vice president is so proud to have her support. And for her to speak out takes courage. It takes courage when you're someone with her stature and her audience to step out and say that this election means something really significant for the country and we can't stay quiet and people need to go vote. I think it's part of the example of the kind of future that the vice president is wanting to build, one where we are more united than we are today, more than we certainly were under former President Trump, not going back to that kind of chaos and division. That is one of her top priorities in this race. That's one of her top priorities as president, is to bring us together as a people again. And I think that when you see this broad groundswell of support from across the ideological spectrum, the age spectrum, where people are from, she's building a coalition to win this race, and we're going to be working really hard to grow that in the coming days and weeks.